Hey everyone, today we're diving into a topic that a lot of us have heard of, but maybe don't fully understand: palliative care. And let's be honest, it's a term that can bring up a lot of confusion, maybe even a little bit of fear. But what if everything we think we know about it is actually wrong? Have you ever heard a sentence like this, maybe in a movie, or maybe, unfortunately, in real life with someone you care about? There's nothing else we can do. You are now palliative. It just lands with such a heavy thud, doesn't it? For so many people, it feels like the story is over, like hope just walked out of the room. And that feeling comes from these really outdated and frankly pretty harmful ideas. Phrases like, the patient is palliative, as if a whole person can be reduced to a single label. Or this one, this false choice: do you want active or palliative care? That one really gets me because it pits life-saving treatment against comfort, as if you can't possibly have both. And that is the huge misunderstanding we need to clear up.
So to really get what palliative care is, we've first got to tear down this big wall of myths about what it isn't. So let's get into it and bust some of the biggest misunderstandings out there. Okay, let's tackle the biggest fear right out of the gate. The myth is that palliative care means you're giving up or that it somehow speeds up death. But the reality, and this is backed up by a ton of research, is the complete opposite. It doesn't just improve quality of life, it can actually help people live longer.
Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. This isn't just a nice idea. Studies have shown that when patients get palliative care early in their diagnosis, they live on average 3 months longer. So why does this happen? Well, think about it. When your pain, your nausea, and your anxiety are managed better, your body is under way less stress. The focus becomes about caring for the whole person, and that can have a huge impact on your resilience, both physically and emotionally.
All right, next big myth on the list: the palliative care is just for cancer. And yeah, it's absolutely a critical part of cancer treatment for a lot of people, but its reach is so much wider. The reality is, it's for any person at any age who's dealing with the symptoms and the stress of a serious, life-limiting illness. And the range of conditions is just huge. We're talking about diagnoses that affect millions of people, things like heart disease, COPD, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, even the general state of frailty that can happen as we get older. For anyone navigating these tough illnesses, a palliative approach can be that crucial extra layer of support they need. And this brings us to what might be the most important myth to bust of all: the idea that palliative care means there's no hope, that it's all about giving up. The reality? It is a philosophy of hope. It's just a different kind of hope. It's not necessarily hope for a cure. It's hope for a good day, hope for less pain, hope for meaningful conversations with the people you love. It's the hope to live as well as you can for as long as you possibly can. So, now that we've cleared away all that baggage, what are we left with? Let's uncover the true and, I think, quite beautiful meaning of the word itself. The word palliative actually comes from the Latin word palliare, which means to cloak. I just love this origin. It's not about hiding or giving up. It's about covering, shielding, and protecting someone. So just picture that. Think of palliative care as that extra layer of comfort. It's like a warm cloak that shields a person from the pain, the symptoms, and the stress of their illness. It lets them face their journey with more support and more dignity. So, here's the bottom line. Palliative care is not a place you go to die. It's a philosophy. It's an approach to care. It's all about supporting people who are living with a serious illness. It's holistic. It looks after the physical, the psychological, the spiritual, the social, the whole shebang. And this is so, so important. It can be started at any stage of an illness, right from day one, right alongside all the other treatments you're getting. And we have one incredible woman to thank for this modern approach to care: Dame Cicely Saunders. She was a nurse who saw that her patients needed so much more than just medical treatment. So in 1967, she opened the world's first modern hospice. And in this really poignant, full-circle moment, she passed away there herself in 2005, getting the exact same kind of care she had fought to give the world. So why is getting this right so important? Why does this matter so much right now? Well, the numbers, they tell a pretty stark story about the huge gap between what people need and what they're actually getting. Globally, this is just staggering. An estimated 86% of people around the world who need palliative care simply don't receive it. Just think about that. That is a massive amount of unnecessary suffering that we actually have the tools to help with. And if you zoom in on a country like Canada,
the gap is just as clear. You've got 75% of people saying they would prefer to be at home at the end of their life, but only 15%, just 1/5, actually have access to the kind of palliative care services that would make that possible. That's a huge disconnect between what we want and what our healthcare systems are set up to provide.
So what does this support actually look like day to day? Well, it's about aggressive symptom management. You have a whole team, doctors, nurses, social workers, spiritual advisors, all working together to get a handle on that tangled web of symptoms that can pop up. Everything from physical pain and shortness of breath to the heavy emotional and psychological stress that comes with a serious diagnosis. It's practical, hands-on care designed to bring real relief.
But beyond all the medicine and the numbers, there's a deep human philosophy at the very heart of this. It's about so much more than just managing symptoms.
And nothing captures it better than this quote from Dame Cicely Saunders herself. She said, "You matter because you are you, and you matter to the last moment of your life. We will do all we can, not only to help you die peacefully, but also to live until you die." That last phrase is just everything. To live until you die. That's the mission.
And that mission, it speaks directly to the very real fears that patients and their families have. The fear of being a burden, of losing your dignity, of being in pain, and of course, the fears we already talked about, that this is all just a sign that the end is near. These are completely valid human anxieties. But then, look at what patients say they actually want. They want their pain managed. They want a sense of control. They want honest communication. They want to be treated with dignity and compassion. When you put these lists side by side, you see it so clearly. Palliative care isn't the cause of their fears. It's the answer. It's designed specifically to meet these exact human needs. And so that's where we'll end, right back at that core idea, helping people live until they die. It sounds so simple, but it's incredibly profound, isn't it? So I'll leave you with that to think about. What does living fully, right to the very end, truly mean to you?